What's going on, people, and welcome back to another epic episode of the Evolution of Beyblade series. In today's episode, we are going to be covering the evolution of Gingka's Pegasus Beyblade throughout the Beyblade franchise, from Metal Fight Beyblade in 2008 all the way to Beyblade X in 2024. So let's jump into our time machine and travel all the way back to 2008. Enter Pegasus 105 Flat. The original Pegasus Beyblade, Pegasus BB01, was not only the first Pegasus Bey, but it was also the first Beyblade that was ever released in the Beyblade Metal Fight saga. This Bey had such a simple, yet a truly gorgeous design. Pegasus 105 Flat is a right spin attack type Beyblade that was released as a starter by Takara Tomy in 2008 as a part of the Metal Fight Beyblade Metal Wheel system. This version of Pegasus was owned by Gingka Hagane in the Beyblade Metal Fight manga. Just like Storm Pegasus in the Beyblade Metal Fusion anime, Pegasus 105 Flat had a similar origin in the manga, where Ryo passes on Pegasus to Gingka after Dark Nebula's invasion of Koma Village. So after Ryuga destroys Pegasus in the manga, Gingka heads out on a journey to revive Pegasus, which leads to its eventual evolution into the Storm Pegasus. So while Gingka never used Pegasus 105 Flat in the anime, it technically makes an appearance in the series as an animation error in episode 2 of Beyblade Metal Fusion. Yeah, the Metal Fight Beyblade manga isn't perfect and has its issues, but it's still a different yet spectacular story. Yeah, so I've said this so many times now, Bladers, but the manga is actually pretty great and is most definitely worth a read. You can legally purchase the manga physically through various secondhand book distributors like eBay or BEY. You can also purchase the digital editions of the Beyblade Metal Fight manga, so be sure to support the original author, Takafumi Adachi. So it's about time we break down our Pegasus 105 Flat Bladers. Pegasus originally released with 4 main parts, these parts being the Facebolt, the Metal Wheel, the Spin Track and the Performance Tip. The original Pegasus Facebolt depicts the mythological winged horse that soared into the heavens, Pegasus, which is one of the 88 constellations in space. This Facebolt weighs about 1.1 gram, which is your standard weight for Facebolts. Moving on to our main attraction, we have the Pegasus Metal Wheel. Pegasus 105 Flat was the first Pegasus Beyblade to feature a 3-bladed design, as the 3-bladed design became a series standard for the future iterations of the Pegasus Beyblade. The Pegasus wheel is an extremely powerful metal wheel that has great smash attack and insane upper attack power. While the Pegasus wheel does suffer some recoil, this can be somewhat mitigated by rubber performance tips like RF, which helps to provide some KO resistance due to its enhanced grip on the stadium floor. The Pegasus metal wheel weighs in at about 35.2 grams. So next up, we have the 105 Spin Track. At the time of release, the 105 Spin Track was the lowest height available, but by the end of the Metal Saga, the 105 Spin Track ended up being outclassed by the 100, the 90 and the 85 Spin Tracks. The 105 Spin Track weighs about 1 gram. The final part that was released with Pegasus was the Flat Performance Tip. The flat tip is a simple flat plastic tip. Unfortunately, the flat tip struggles to maintain a flower pattern due to not being able to grip onto the stadium floor as it's plastic, leading Flat to eventually be outclassed by tips that released later on in the series, such as Rubber Flat and Metal Flat. The Flat Performance Tip weighs in at about 0.5 grams. Enter Storm Pegasus 105 Rubber Flat. Storm Pegasus has to be the most nostalgic Pegasus Beyblade within the Pegasus Evolution line. While its design is simple, it's one we will truly remember forever. Storm Pegasus 105 RF is an attack type Beyblade that was originally released as a starter by Takara Tomy in 2009 as a part of the Metal Fight Beyblade hybrid wheel system. Storm was then released a year later for international audiences through Hasbro in 2010 in the Beyblade Metal Fusion toy line. It was also released later in 2014 through the Beyblade Legends toy line as well. Storm Pegasus was the first Pegasus Beyblade that was owned by Gingka in the Beyblade Metal Fusion anime, whilst also being Ginka's second Pegasus Beyblade in the Beyblade Metal Fight manga, as in the manga, the first Pegasus Beyblade was Pegasus 105 Flat, which was eventually destroyed by Ryuga's El Drago 105 Flat, and later evolving into Storm Pegasus 105 Rubber Flat. As I've said so many times now, the Metal Fight Beyblade manga, while it isn't perfect and has its issues, it's still a different yet spectacular story, and it's definitely worth a read. You can legally purchase the manga physically through various second-hand book distributors, and you can also purchase the digital editions of the Beyblade Metal Fight manga online, so be sure to support the original author Takafumi Adachi. It's about time we break down our Storm Pegasus 105 RF. Storm Pegasus originally released with 5 main parts. These parts were the facebolt, the clear wheel, the metal wheel, the spin track, and the performance tip. Starting with the facebolt, this facebolt is called the Pegasus 1. The Pegasus 1 facebolt depicts the mythological winged horse that soared into the heavens, Pegasus, which is also one of the 88 constellations in space. This facebolt weighs in at about 1.1 grams, which is your standard weight for facebolts. Next up, bladers, we have the Pegasus 1 clear wheel, which is also known as the Pegasus 1 energy ring. This clear wheel features a circular symmetrical design of the wings and head of Pegasus, which is a simple yet an absolutely gorgeous design choice. This clear wheel weighs in at about 3 grams. Moving on, we have the Storm Metal Wheel. The Storm Metal Wheel, also known as the Storm Fusion Wheel, is the successor to the original Pegasus Metal Wheel, and just like its predecessor, the Storm Wheel also features 3 main contact points or wings that round inwards. These contact points feature a slightly rough design that ends with jagged points. This rough design makes the Storm Wheel somewhat capable of smash attacks, but unfortunately, this Storm Wheel weighs in at about 29 or 30 grams, which is incredibly light for an attack wheel. Because of this, the Storm Wheel ultimately falls flat and is thoroughly outclassed by other attack wheels such as Lightning, Spiral, and Blitz. Next up, we have the 105 Spin Track, and just like Storm's predecessor, the OG Pegasus Beyblade, Storm also features the standard 105 Spin Track. When it first released, the 105 Spin Track was the lowest height spin track available, but by the end of the Metal Saga, the 105 Spin Track ended up being outclassed by the 100, the 90, and the 85 spin tracks. The 105 Spin Track weighs in at about 1 gram. It's about time we finally move on to the best part that originally released on Storm Pegasus. We have RF, also known as the Rubber Flat Performance Tip. So just like every other part on Storm Pegasus so far, the Rubber Flat Tip is the successor to the original flat tip that released on Pegasus 105 Flat, meaning RF is an upgraded version of the original flat tip. And just like the original flat tip, Rubber Flat features a circular flat tip, but unlike the plastic flat tip, RF now features rubber with a wider surface area. Due to now featuring rubber instead of plastic, this tip has enhanced grip on the stadium floor due to the increased amount of friction. Rubber Flat also has increased speed when compared to its predecessor, although this isn't without its weaknesses, as the stamina significantly decreases due to its enhanced speed and grip on the stadium floor, which is honestly a fair trade-off. Increased speed and power, but decreased stamina when compared to the original flat tip. Rubber Flat is a fantastic performance tip and is a part you'll absolutely want in your collection. Enter Galaxy Pegasus Wing 105 Rubber Flat. Galaxy Pegasus was without a doubt the most beautiful Beyblade in the entire Pegasus Evolution line. From its vibrant blue metal coat to its translucent energy ring and facebolt, this Beyblade had a truly peak design. Galaxy Pegasus Wing 105 R2F is an attack-type Beyblade that was originally released as a starter by Takara Tomy in 2010 as a part of a Metal Fight Beyblade hybrid wheel system. Galaxy was then later re-released a year later for international audiences through Hasbro in 2011. Galaxy Pegasus was the second Pegasus Beyblade that was owned by Gingka in the Beyblade Metal Masters anime, whilst also being Ginka's third Pegasus Beyblade in the Beyblade Metal Fight manga, as in the manga, the first Pegasus Bey was Pegasus 105 Flat, which evolved into Storm Pegasus 105 Rubber Flat, and Storm later evolved into Galaxy during Ginka's battle with Ryuga during the final battle of the Battle Bladers tournament, which personally was a fantastic change, as not only was this a fantastic way to evolve Storm into Galaxy, but in the manga version, Galaxy and Storm is still the same Beyblade, as in the anime version of the Beyblade Metal Fight story, after Storm Pegasus is destroyed by Lightning Eldrago during the final battle of the Battle Bladers tournament, Ginka seeks out a new Pegasus Beyblade, which is the legendary prototype Pegasus that was too powerful to control, which is also known as the Galaxy Pegasus Wing 105 R2F, which is an entirely different Beyblade from Storm Pegasus. While the Metal Fight Beyblade manga isn't perfect and has its issues, it's still a different yet spectacular story. I know I've said this so many times now, Bladers, but you guys should definitely check it out because the manga is awesome. You can purchase the manga through various second-hand book distributors like eBay and BEY. You can also purchase the digital editions of the Beyblade Metal Fight manga, so be sure to support the original author Takafumi Adachi. Yes, Bladers, so it's about time we finally break down our Galaxy Pegasus Wing 105 Right Rubber Flat piece by piece. So Galaxy Pegasus originally released with 5 main parts. Just like with your standard hybrid wheel releases, these parts were the facebolt, the energy ring, the fusion wheel, the spin track, and the performance tip. So starting with the facebolt, this facebolt is called the Pegasus 2. And just like the previous iterations of the Pegasus face, the Pegasus 2 facebolt depicts the mythological winged horse that soared into the heavens, Pegasus, which is also one of the 88 constellations in space. So while the design of Pegasus 2 is similar to the previous iterations of the Pegasus face, it now features a few modifications, such as a clear blue translucent plastic and a red outline around the Pegasus face. This facebolt weighs in at about 1.1 grams. Next up, we have the Pegasus 2 Energy Ring, which is also known as the Pegasus 2 Clear Wheel. Now this clear wheel is so goddamn beautiful, Bladers. Just like the Pegasus 2 facebolt, the Pegasus 2 Clear Wheel is the successor to the Pegasus 1 Clear Wheel. So while the Pegasus 2 Clear Wheel keeps the symmetrical Pegasus head and wing design of Pegasus 1, the Pegasus 2 Clear Wheel now features larger wings that also feature the letters P, E, G and I, spelling Peggy, which is short for Pegasus, which is just a phenomenal design choice. The Pegasus Energy Ring weighs in at about 3.1 grams. Moving on to our main attraction, Bladers, we have the beautiful, the fabulous, the gorgeous, the Galaxy Fusion Wheel. The Galaxy Fusion Wheel is the official successor to the Storm Wheel. And just like its predecessor, the Galaxy Fusion Wheel features 3 main contact points that round inwards. These 3 main contact points are supposed to depict the wings of Pegasus, which again is just an absolutely phenomenal design choice. So on each of these 3 wings, there are 4 indented separations. These 4 separations have 3 ridges on the top that curve upwards and 5 spikes underneath. Unfortunately, the underside on each of these 3 main wings on the Galaxy Wheel are hollowed out, making the Galaxy Wheel an extremely light metal wheel. So combining the Galaxy Wheel's light nature with its rounded in protrusions, this metal wheel ultimately falls flat and is thoroughly outclassed by other attack wheels in its generation, such as the Spiral Wheel. The Galaxy Fusion Wheel weighs in at about 29 grams. Next up, Bladers, we have the Wing 105 Spin Track. And just like Galaxy's predecessors Pegasus 105 Flat and Storm Pegasus 105 RF, Galaxy Pegasus Wing 105 R2F also keeps the 105 Spin Track height tradition alive. But this time around, the 105 Spin Track has been upgraded into the Wing 105, as wings have now replaced the handlebar protrusions on the spin track. Now these wings have an awesome gimmick, on paper that is, as they're supposed to push air upwards to provide more stamina, but personally I haven't noticed a difference between a regular 105 and the Wing 105 Spin Track. The Wing 105 Spin Track weighs in at about 1.2 grams. Finally, Bladers, it's about time we move on to the best part that released on Galaxy Pegasus and the part that saved this Beyblade stock combination. Allow me to introduce you to the right rubber flat, also known as the R2F performance tip. So just like every other part that released on Galaxy Pegasus so far, the R2F performance tip is the successor to the original RF tip that released on Storm Pegasus, meaning R2F is essentially an evolved or upgraded version of the original RF tip. So just like rubber flat, right rubber flat features a red rubber tip, but unlike rubber flat's circle tip design, right rubber flat now features 6 rubber spikes that face towards the right. Now this modified design allows R2F to move more quickly due to its enhanced grip on the stadium floor when compared to its predecessor, the rubber flat. Although due to this increased speed, R2F's stamina and control significantly decreases, which honestly is a very fair trade-off. Increased speed and power, but decreased control and stamina when compared to the original rubber flat. Right rubber flat is a great performance tip, and it's definitely a performance tip you will absolutely want in your collection. Enter Big Bang Pegasus Final Drive. Big Bang Pegasus, also known as Cosmic Pegasus, was the first Pegasus Beyblade to be released within the 4D wheel system. The 4D wheel system consisted of gimmicks that either further separated parts or combined them to form new parts. So Big Bang Pegasus was originally released by Takara Tomy in Japan in 2011. It was then later released internationally through Hasbro in 2013. Although this version of Cosmic Pegasus wasn't the first international release of Cosmic, as in 2012, Hasbro first adapted the 4D Beyblades in the Beyblade Metal Fury toy line without their 4D wheel gimmicks as a part of a standard hybrid wheel system. This version of Big Bang Pegasus is also known as Cosmic Pegasus Wing 105 R2F, which funnily enough shares the same stock combination as Galaxy Pegasus. Big Bang Pegasus was Ginka's third Pegasus Beyblade in the anime, whilst also being his fourth Pegasus Beyblade in the manga. So in the Beyblade Metal Fury manga, after Damien destroys Ginka's Galaxy Pegasus with his Hades Kerbex, Ginka receives energy from his friends, allowing him to repair and evolve Pegasus into the Big Bang Pegasus. Whereas in the anime, Galaxy evolves into Big Bang after receiving the Star Fragment. Yeah, the manga was way cooler personally, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which evolution do you guys prefer? The manga evolution or the anime evolution? So it's about time we break down our Big Bang Pegasus piece by piece. So Big Bang released with 6 main parts, these parts being the facebolt, the clear wheel, the PC frame, the metal frame, the core and the performance tip. First up, we have the Pegasus 3 facebolt. So just like the previous iterations of the Pegasus facebolt, Pegasus 3 still depicts the Pegasus avatar, although this version features a more aggressive stylized design when compared to its predecessors. Moving on, we have the Pegasus 3 clear wheel. The Pegasus 3 clear wheel still depicts the wings of the Pegasus avatar, but unlike the previous iterations of the Pegasus clear wheel, this version of Pegasus 3 contains metal powder, supposedly increasing the weight of this energy ring and the overall weight of Big Bang Pegasus. Next up, we have the Big Bang or Cosmic 4D wheel. Now this metal wheel has been separated into 3 different parts. These parts are the PC frame, the metal frame and the core. So starting with the PC frame, this is the plastic part that slots into the metal frame. It has 3 sets of 2 square holes. These holes allow you to switch its mode or position by rotating the PC frame on the metal frame. Now this metal frame features 3 large blades that depict the wings of Pegasus. It also has 3 square protrusions, which is also what the PC frame slots into. On the underside of this metal frame, just like the PC frame, it also has 3 sets of 2 square holes, which is what the core slots into. So the final part of the Big Bang wheel is the core. Now this core features 3 smaller blades, which also depict the wings of Pegasus. There's a square protrusion on each of these 3 wings, and these protrusions slot into the square holes on the underside of a metal frame, completing the Big Bang 4D wheel. Now the Big Bang wheel has 4 modes depending on how you customize it. There's Smash Attack mode, Upper Attack mode, Barrage mode, and of course, the omnidirectional attack mode. Moving on to the final part that released on Big Bang Pegasus, we have the Final Drive 4D bottom. So 4D bottoms fuse both the spin track and the performance tip to create a new singular part. Now Final Drive has an awesome gimmick, as when eBay using this tip is launched, the two tabs on Final Drive extend outwards due to centrifugal force. As the tabs extend outwards, a semi-flat tip will extend outwards as well. When eBay using Final Drive starts to lose spin, the tabs retract, with the semi-flat tip going inwards as well, leaving Final Drive with an aggressive rubber hole flat performance tip, allowing any Beyblade using Final Drive to switch from a mildly passive attack pattern to a hyper aggressive attack pattern, literally changing modes during battle. So in the Beyblade Metal Fury manga, Gingka enters a training simulator with Ryuga to help him train to defeat Nemesis. This training sim allows Ginka's Big Bang Pegasus to undergo a change, temporarily evolving Big Bang into the Wing Pegasus. Enter Wing Pegasus 90 Wide Flat. Wing Pegasus 90 Wide Flat was originally released by Takara Tomy as a part of the Ultimate DX set in Japan in 2011. Wing Pegasus was later distributed internationally in 2013 as it was bundled with the Beyblade Evolution 3DS game. Also, just like Big Bang Pegasus, Wing Pegasus also had a Metal Fury non-4D hybrid wheel release in 2012 through Hasbro. While Gingka only had Wing for a brief moment, Wing was still the 5th Pegasus Beyblade that Gingka owned in the manga. Wing Pegasus is also a manga exclusive as it doesn't appear in the Beyblade Metal Fury anime. So Wing Pegasus released with 6 main parts. These parts are the faceplate, the clear wheel, the metal frame, the core, the spin track and the performance tip. Just like Big Bang, Wing also features the Pegasus 3 faceplate, except this version is black and silver. Wing Pegasus also released with a Pegasus 3 clear wheel, but this version is red, as opposed to the typical blue LED rings that appear on Gingka owned Pegasus Beyblades. Next up we have the Wing 4D wheel. Now the Wing 4D wheel is separated into 2 main parts, which is the metal frame and the core. Now the Wing metal frame is actually the thinnest part on the Wing 4D wheel. This metal frame features 3 blades. Also on the underside of this metal frame, there are 2 oval protrusions. These protrusions allow the Wing metal frame to slot into the Wing metal core. So the Wing metal frame also features an arrow. This arrow points to and overlaps the numbers on the Wing metal core, with each number on the metal core representing one of the 3 modes you can choose by rotating the metal frame on the metal core. Number 0 is Ironclad Attack mode, number 1 is Mortal Blow Attack mode, and number 2 is the Pound Attack mode. So moving on to the metal core, it features 3 large blades, which depict the wings of the Pegasus avatar. The final parts that released on Wing Pegasus is the 90 spin track and the wide flat performance tip. Enter Samurai Pegasus Wing 105 R2F. Samurai Pegasus is the first and only Pegasus Beyblade to be released within the Zero-G system. It was originally released by Takara Tomy in 2012 in Japan. Samurai was then later distributed for international audiences through Hasbro in 2014. So Samurai Pegasus was the 4th Pegasus Beyblade that was owned by Gingka in the Beyblade anime, whilst also being his 6th or 7th Pegasus Beyblade in the manga. Now what I mean by 6th or 7th Pegasus Beyblade depends on your reading order, as in the one-shot manga, Metal Fight Beyblade Soul Burst, as it was confirmed to canonically take place before the event of Beyblade Zero-G, but after the event of Beyblade 4D, by the original author Takafumi Adachi, meaning that the Soul Burst Pegasus remake is technically Ginka's 6th Pegasus Beyblade as it came before Samurai, making Samurai the 7th Pegasus Beyblade that Gingka owned in the Beyblade manga. So Samurai Pegasus released with 6 main parts. These parts were the stone face, the chrome wheel, the crystal wheel, the spin track and the performance tip. Starting with the stone face, just like the previous iterations of the Pegasus faceplate, this stone face also depicts the face and wings of the Pegasus avatar. Moving on to the Pegasus chrome wheel. Now this chrome wheel pays homage to the textured 4D wheels that released on Big Bang and Wing Pegasus, as this chrome wheel also features a textured wing design that depicts the head and wings of the Pegasus avatar. Samurai Pegasus also released with a blue version of the Samurai Crystal Wheel, which originally first debuted on Samurai Frayed, which belongs to the new main character of the Beyblade Metal Fight franchise. Moving on to our final parts, we have the spin track and the performance tip. Now Samurai released with Galaxy's stock combination, as it also featured the 105 spin track and the right rubber flat performance tip. Enter Storm Pegasus 10 Glaive Quick Dash. Storm Pegasus was re-released in the Beyblade Burst system 10 years later in 2019 as a part of the Metal Fight Beyblade 10th anniversary set. So this Pegasus Beyblade was also canonically the 6th Pegasus Beyblade that Gingka owned in the Metal Fight Beyblade story. Now while some of you may be confused, as this is a Burst Beyblade, you see during the 10th anniversary celebration, there was a one-shot manga called Metal Fight Beyblade Soul Burst, and Soul Burst was actually written by the original author Takafumi Adachi. So the Soul Burst manga explains how and why the Burst system was introduced in the Beyblade Metal Saga. Soul Burst was also confirmed by the author to take place right after the events of Beyblade Metal Fury, but years before Zero G. So it's about time we break down this awesome Storm Pegasus remake. Storm Pegasus released with 4 main parts. It released with the Pegasus layer, the 10 disc, the glaive frame and the quick dash driver. First up, we have the Storm Pegasus layer. Now this layer is essentially the Pegasus 1 faceplate, the Pegasus 1 clear wheel and the Storm wheel, all fused into one part. So this remake also released with the quick dash driver in an awesome attempt to try and recreate the original rubber flat tip, which personally is a really awesome nod to the OG. Enter Galaxy Pegasus 5 Glaive Jolt Dash. So this version of Galaxy Pegasus was also released by Takara Tomy in 2020, 10 years after the original release of Galaxy Pegasus as a part of the Metal Fight Beyblade Explosion 10th anniversary set. So while this remake of Galaxy is the successor to Storm Pegasus 10 Glaive Quick Dash, it isn't owned by Gingka as it doesn't appear in any anime or manga. This remake released with 4 main parts. It released with the Galaxy Pegasus layer, the 5 disc, the glaive frame and the Jolt Dash performance tip. So just like Storm, this Galaxy remake also fuses the Pegasus 2 faceplate, the clear wheel and the Galaxy wheel to form the Pegasus layer. In an attempt to recreate R2F, this Galaxy remake also released with a blue and red version of the Jolt Dash driver. Moving on to 2024, we are currently in the 4th generation of Beyblade, known as Beyblade X, and Storm Pegasus has officially been announced to be remade again within the Beyblade X system. So as of recording this video, we've only seen the prototypes of this crossover remake so far, but I have no doubt it's going to be absolutely amazing. So Takara has also recently revealed a new Metal Fight inspired Beyblade called Aero Pegasus. Yeah, this Bey looks absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's somewhat reminiscent of the original Pegasus 105 flat and Galaxy Pegasus. So will Gingka return in Beyblade X? And if he does, will he own this new Aero Pegasus? Or will he own the Storm Pegasus remake? So there's definitely a chance that Gingka can return in Beyblade X, although admittedly a pretty low chance, but a chance nonetheless, as in the Beyblade X anime and manga, the silhouettes of many past protagonists including Gingka appeared in Queen Manju's flashback. Is the Gingka from Queen's flashback the same Gingka from the Metal Saga? Probably not if I'm being honest, as Beyblade X is set in a completely separate universe. Although if we do see Gingka down the line, I imagine it will be somewhat similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, so a different universe, but ultimately the same character with strong similarities to the original. And that's only if his appearance in the flashback isn't just a simple Easter egg. Anyway, it's 2024 and Pegasus is about to receive 2 new Beys in the same year. We're eating so good right now, Bladers. You guys are always asking me, where can I buy Metal Fight Beyblades in 2024? Guess what, Bladers, I have a fantastic place for you. So we have officially partnered up with BayStation and you guys can use my promo code DaimyoGT for a 7% discount. BayStation sells high quality Metal Fight Beyblade reproductions from Beyblade Metal Fusion, Beyblade Metal Masters, Beyblade Metal Fury and even Beyblade Shogun Steel. In fact, BEY Station sells a wide variety of products spanning from accessories like stadiums, string launchers and launcher grips. They even sell products from other generations like Beyblade Burst and even the latest generation, Beyblade X. All orders will be shipped on the same business day. But guess what, Bleeders? I have a secret. Come closer. They even offer free shipping. And we can't forget about their excellent return policy, as they offer a 60-day grace period on all orders. And even if you decide you don't want your item, BEY Station will pay for the shipping for you to return your order, no questions asked. Once you guys are at the checkout, remember to type in my code, DaimyoGT, for your discount. So that more or less wraps up the evolution of Pegasus throughout the Beyblade franchise. And I know this episode was long, but I truly hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Also, that reminds me, which Beyblade should we cover next in this evolution series? Should we do the Leon Beys, the Dragoon Beys, or the Valkyrie Beys? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, of course, you guys gotta let me know which Pegasus Beyblade is your favorite. Is it the original? Is it Storm? Is it Galaxy? Is it Wing? Is it Big Bang? Or is it Samurai? Let me know your thoughts, Bladers, in the comments down below. And as always, Bladers, thank you so much for making it to the end of today's episode. Today's episode was truly absolutely amazing. You know, this was our Beyblade 25th anniversary special, so I should be uploading this on the 17th of July. But yeah, today's episode was absolutely awesome. Before we wrap up though, as you guys saw earlier, we have officially partnered up with BEY Station, and by using my promo code is a cool and optional way to support my channel, as it helps me to continue making epic Metal Fight Beyblade content. And guess what? You can also purchase most of the Pegasus Beyblades from BEY Station, so don't forget to use my promo code DaimyoGT if you do. Thanks again for tuning in, and peace out.